I'm very clear on this. Any expense, I believe the most important thing the team leader has to be responsible for is capital. You have a very finite amount of capital. So whenever you deploy capital, I don't care if it's for leads or it's to bring in a sales manager, which we're talking about here today, there has to be an ROI. I believe you should have at least a minimum of a 3x ROI for any dollar you spend. So if we take an example, we're going to bring a sales manager in at $50,000 a year. My goal, if I was coaching that team or instructing a team leader, is we need to increase our bottom line profit by $150,000. And how can we do that? It's by understanding, again, metrics. This is why you need some kind of dashboard or system. All my teams, when we first started, especially smaller, a spreadsheet was fine, right? You kind of put your sales there, your pendings, and then you get your closing, figure out. But as these teams get bigger, you're going to need to track some leading and lagging indicators. You're going to need to know which agents are performing compared to others and why differently on there. I think Maverick is a good example of that, where you can track all of this kind of stuff. But here's where I would focus on. Is one of the numbers that I've seen that's gone down tremendously, especially on medium to large size teams, is average number of units per agent per month. So to give you some examples, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago, if we brought a new agent onto a team I was coaching, we could pretty consistently get them to 10 to 12 units in their first year. And by year 2, 20 to 24 units on there. Of course, most of the United States. The number that's coming up, as the mode will say, of the average number of units per agent per month this year across the board has been 0.7. So you can see that's almost a 300% reduction from like 21 deals down to like 0.7 deals on there. So that's the first thing I would focus on. The second one is price point. Right, the sales manager can lead the team into neighborhoods or areas. You can call here, or we can circle dial here. Price point, especially with teams that have sometimes hundreds of units, increasing that by 10 or 20,000 again can dramatically increase the bottom line. So those are the first two. First is getting the average agent to do a greater number of deals per month, which is great. More money for the team, more money for the agent, increasing their price point. As I mentioned earlier, you always want the agent to feel like you're here to help them more than the company. So imagine if I could help the agent increase their price point. I can help them to put in 1 or 2 deals a month instead of, just 0.7 deals a month. The other thing I would recommend is, I see this is becoming more important. Since I started in day one, they told me you had to list to lead. Listing agents control the market and all those good things. But even important now, with bifurcation of commissions, if there's one trend I've seen more than anything, or one result of bifurcation, is listing agents are getting higher percentages across the country. So helping these agents to learn how to procure listings and then increasing their listing average a percentage retained is one of the stronger ways now that I see that you can help agents to achieve their goals. And then you don't need as many agents. If you can increase those top 3 I just mentioned, you don't need nearly as many agents to create the GCI to hit the goal. I mentioned earlier that the sales manager has to know sales. They have to be able to, make calls if they needed to. They can go on an appointment if needed to. But I've noticed, I started my career at Douglas Elliman, and they gave the 70 offices that were in our little network there, sales manager, office manager, call them what you want, 2 options. You could sell and manage or not sell and manage. So what I've seen happen 99% of the time, if the manager is allowed to sell, they're guaranteed this paycheck, say this $50,000 I mentioned, they know they're getting their $1,000 a week guaranteed. They tend to migrate slowly over time to more and more sales because this is all their upside. They make a little more money maybe if the team does well, but if they can sell. So like the manager, one of the offices I worked at, he was never in the office. He wasn't managing because he got his guaranteed paycheck from the company, and he was out, procuring leads and building a pipeline of his own to make money. So I want the sales manager to be able to go on appointments. Maybe there's a couple deals a year, sphere or something they manage, but I would not have your sales manager managing their own sales pipeline. And the reason this happens, I'm pretty sure most of the time, is how team leads subsidize the cost of the sales manager, right? They need to make a certain amount of money. Okay, I'm going to pay you half, and then you could earn the other half by selling. Again, I think your sales manager needs to be on point 100% of the time, not out in the field, selling as well as fails, because the manager just sees the upside and they just keep selling more. Then I ask this question: your sales manager, they plan the big office training for Friday, right? We're going to go over, something important. And the night before, they get a $1 million listing opportunity, right? Hey, the only time I can meet you, sales manager, is on Friday. I'm in town for one day for a $1 million listing appointment. Which one do you think he's going to reschedule? The agents in there. Once you start doing that, you lose a lot of confidence in those agents following you. So anyway, those are my strong feelings on that. But yeah, if you're not getting an ROI, you didn't hire the right person, in my opinion.